crew, Doug Sermons with Michael Greenstein, Tommy Johnson, Chris Merlot, our standby. The Cats are the 3 seed, wearing the home whites in Kansas, even though they're a little less than an hour from home, wearing the traveling blue. Leonard Dickinson inside to KJ Adams. Won't go, and the rebound grabbed by Tobe Awaka for the Cats.
Arizona switched it. Kansas recognized it, went inside to Adams, but he couldn't finish.
Speaking of switching, Tommy Lloyd switching his starting lineup, and Trey Townsend getting the nod tonight over Henry Basar.
And that's because he played well in Allen Fieldhouse 5 days ago.
He was a starter earlier in the year for Arizona, but Basar has really come on. KJ Adams drives, hooks it out. DeJuan Harris Jr. 3.
Oh, they needed that. He's been really struggling behind the arc, hesitant to shoot it, but that time off the drive, he let it fly. He's got to play with confidence.
Tobe Awaka going inside over Hunter Dickinson.
How about that? First 2 possessions for Arizona, they go right at the big fella.
These 2 teams played last Saturday at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. You were there to see Kansas on Senior Day get the win at home and get a lot of things right against Arizona. With Tommy Lloyd and the Wildcats, the concern for him recently, Fran, has been their defense.
Well, there's no question about it. About a month ago, Roxy, they were 12th in defensive efficiency. They're down to about 30 right now. And it's a concern not only for tonight, but going into the NCAA tournament.
They gave up 83 to Kansas in the Jayhawks win last Saturday just down the road in Lawrence. They beat Arizona State about a week and a half ago, and they gave up 100 points to the Sun Devils in a win. Deflected, a steal. Here comes Caleb Love. He attacks. Love to the basket.
That is a tough finish right through contact. He is fearless. And that can be good and bad, but right now it's good.
Zeke Mayo, Hunter Dickinson on the wing.
He was popping those mid-range jumpers last night in the second half.
He had a quiet start against UCF, an overtime win for Kansas last night. Henry Basar missing at the rim. An early sub for Tommy Lloyd in Arizona. Here's Dickinson rolling, and a push. The foul on Jake Bradley of Arizona.
And watch this Caleb Love drive now in transition. He is a big, strong guard, and he's going to go right at the defender, hang in the air. Good defense by Mayo, but he hangs and finishes. Caleb Love, we mentioned, the 4th active leading scorer in college basketball, career-wise.
Zeke Mayo drives, and a foul will get Mayo to the line. First on Trey Townsend. Bill Self in Kansas, 21-11 this season, but the 6th seed in the Big 12 tournament.
I've told a lot of people this week, hey, you want a sleeper in this tournament? Kansas. I don't think I've ever said that in 20 years. But obviously they've got a somewhat semi-home court advantage here. They have a lot to prove. This was a team that was picked #1 in the preseason AP poll. Obviously not lived up to it, Roxy, but when you look out there, you know they've got talent.
One more for Zeke Mayo. Big 12 all-newcomer team this year. Was 1 for 2 at the line. Mayo had 24 against UCF last night. Kansas needed 45 minutes. They had to go overtime last night. How much does that help Arizona?
I don't think it helps. I don't think it matters that much. I think what does help Kansas is that they played last night, and Arizona has got to shake the rust off at least in the opening minutes.
Jake Bradley. And the rebound, Hunter Dickinson with a box out. And here come the Jayhawks. Deep 3. Short from Zeke Mayo and Caleb Love countering for Arizona.
This Arizona team loves to push it. Nope.
Hunter Dickinson, another rebound.
I think Arizona would love to make this a track meet because Kansas ultimately has to play through Dickinson inside.
Missing from the corner, Rylan Griffin. And Arizona pulls it down. Henry Vasar lighting up a three. Dickinson not the only 7-footer on the floor that can make threes.
I think if it wasn't for Richie Saunders, this kid might have been the most improved player in the Big 12. He has got a very bright future, the sophomore.
Saved by Arizona's Anthony Delorso, but run down by Zeke Mayo. And a fresh shot clock for the Jayhawks. Hunter Dickinson trading threes, the 7-footers. Trey Townsend, the grad transfer from Oakland with the miss, but kept alive by Arizona. Anthony Delorso, three.
And the Campbell transfer can heat up. Maybe their best outside shooter this season.
Over 40% from three on the year. For the native of Melbourne, Australia. Pass deflected, stolen. 3-on-2 for Arizona. Jaden Bradley skips to the bucket. Largest lead for Arizona. Hunter Dickinson barreling his way inside. And the rebound grabbed, but then lost by Henry Vasar. It stays with Kansas. Early.
Getting last summer.
Speaking of transfers, get over to Chris with more.
Shaquille Moore said today that he is going to be available for today's game. He has not played since February 18th for Kansas, dealing with a soreness in his foot. Bill Self said that's news to me that he's available, but I'll take it for limited minutes when you talk about having to play back-to-back games for these guys.
Yeah, I think, Chris, it doesn't matter, really. If Bill Self puts Shaq Moore in the game tonight, it means he's a little desperate, honestly. Looking for quickness, maybe some defensive toughness in the guard spot. But you can't count on a guy who hasn't played in the last 6 games in a game like this. It's not like you're waiting for, Kevin Durant to come back up from an injury.
Freshman Carter Bryant on the floor for Arizona, as KJ Lewis also checking in for the Wildcats. Here is Bryant from deep. And a three for Carter Bryant.
That is he's really had an advantage of playing at the 4 spot this year. His best position at the next level would be small forward, but when Krivas got hurt, the 7'2" center, who we thought might be their best player, Carter Bryant had a chance to play more. Roxy, he's got a lot of long-term potential, and that shooting stroke is for real. And by the way, his sister visited Kansas last weekend for volleyball.
KJ Lewis fouled by Flory Badunga, and 2 shots coming up for Lewis. And I guess, Fred, if there's a silver lining as far as the injury to Motiejus Krivas, it's that opened the door for Henry Vasar.
Without a doubt. Well, I think what it did was it solidified who they had. They were trying to figure out when they were struggling in November. Roxy, sometimes you can have too many players in your rotation, and they were figuring out whether to play big, small, or medium. When the 7'2" Krivas went out, they had to count on Vasar, who I think will play in the NBA. Tobe Awaka has become very solid, and Carter Bryant had a chance to show his athleticism. So it's sort of addition by subtraction, even when you're missing a very good player like Krivas.
10 straight for Arizona, and the Wildcats have opened up a double-digit lead. And you and I were there in Phoenix in the middle of December when Tommy Lloyd was still tinkering and trying to figure out his rotation. They lost a tough game on a neutral floor to UCLA.
And when you have less decisions to make as a coach, sometimes it's better. And right now, the decisions Bill Self has is who is he going to find some offense from? And they've given up 19 quick points in the first 7 minutes or so.
And already 4 turnovers committed by Kansas. And Arizona's made 7 of their last 11 shots. And that's a travel. The first Arizona giveaway of the night as Henry Vasar walked.
Henry Vasar is a young man that arrived on campus 3 seasons ago. Played very little as a freshman, last year redshirted with an elbow injury. And when we saw them, as to your point in December, he was sort of the mystery man. And now he's a good player.
You're the international man of mystery with all the international players. What did you know about Besar before Tommy Lloyd got him?
I knew, you know, he was in the Real Madrid program. Watch this.
Flory Badunga.
Just like when we watch Yegor Demin tomorrow, they were all part of the Real Madrid junior program. But Henry decided to come to college.
And the rebound, Hunter Dickinson. Dickinson from deep. And the second three for Hunter Dickinson.
Let me tell you what's crazy. Until last night, he was shooting 21% from three for the season. All of a sudden now, he's looking like Jokic.
Henry Besar attacks for U of A. The lob to Flory Badunga, who misses. Dickinson can't get the tip. And a whistle, and will stay at this end. An Arizona foul.
I'll tell you one thing we've seen this year is Dickinson and Badunga have been a great team together. Watch the short roll in the high paint. He knows just to throw it up, and Flory's going to jump higher than anybody on the court. That's actually an easy play. And then this is a revelation, because last year he could make this three early in the year until, quite frankly, last night he had really struggled behind the arc.
A.J. Storr coming off a season high 19 points, missing the pull-up. Carter Bryant the rebound. Here comes Arizona. Bryant a trail three. Second three for the freshman.
That has got to drive Bill Self nuts. And KJ Adams immediately comes off the bench. You leave a great shooter open in transition twice.
DeJuan Harris Jr. for KU. Arizona 4 for 5 outside the arc to start this one. KJ Lewis backs up to the corner. And a three for Lewis. And Arizona usually, Fran, is not a good three-point shooting team.
Let me tell you something. KJ Lewis is not a good three-point shooter, but he shot that ball with confidence.
Just 17% on the season for Lewis.
How about the Wildcats coming into this building
basketball championship, our last quarterfinal, and the winner will get Texas Tech tomorrow night in the semis.
Yeah, they banged it 16 threes. That might have been a tournament record, except earlier today, BYU red hot 18 threes in a thriller against Iowa State, shorthanded without two starters. Curtis Jones put on a show for the Cyclones, but man, I like that BYU team, Roxy. 9 straight wins now.
They are really playing well. Kevin Young has that team peaking at the right time.
He's figured out college basketball in half a year. I think by February 1st, he figured it out after coming from the NBA.
David Coit from deep, and a three for the Jayhawks.
I'll tell you what, man, he's like a third down back. You put him in, good things happen, punt returner. He is fearless, and he's one of the most accurate shooters they have.
Tobe Awaka underneath.
They did a great job with that left arm to put it right into Dickinson's chest, and Dickinson couldn't jump.
Hunter Dickinson trying to wrestle it away. And quickly jumping in, Doug Thurmans and Tommy Johnson, and a foul on Arizona.
Well, remember, David Coit averaged 20 points a game last year at Northern Illinois. Quick shot. He's done that all year. He's a high percentage three-point shooter. Smallest guy on the floor. Now, at times, he is a detriment defensively, and it's not because of effort. It's more his size. But outside shooting is needed right now by KU.
16 fouls on Arizona. The next one puts Kansas into the bonus. Hunter Dickinson steps out. That one rattles out for Dickinson. And the rebound, Arizona. Long outlet, Tobe Awaka trying to run the floor, but couldn't track it down.
Too far. Carter Bryant led him a little too much. He's got to put a little bit of air on that, under it, so that Tobe can run under it. If Tobe catches that, I think Brian Brennan gives him a call. The football coach. Brent Brennan. The Arizona football coach.
Brent actually made the trip with the Arizona basketball team to Fog Allen Fieldhouse last Saturday. Out of bounds, and it goes to Arizona. We got you covered. Selection Sunday on ESPN and ESPN2. We started off on ESPN at 7 Eastern. Bracketology presented by Lowe's. Then at 8, the NCAA Women's Selection Special. At 9 p.m. on ESPN2, Women's Bracketology. Followed by Men's Bracketology at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. All your tournament needs. There, we got it for you on Sunday.
And right now, coming into tonight, this Arizona team has a 13 in the net. Not that that's the be-all and end-all, but I expect this team to be on that 4 line, maybe 5 at the worst, Rocks, depending on how they do the next day or two. But given the start to this season for Arizona, Tommy Lloyd's done a great job with this team.
14-6 in their first season in the Big 12. Jaden Bradley turns the corner, and he gets knocked off balance. He'll end up with the free throw line.
And what Jaden did right there is when he got into the lane off 2 feet, he just pump faked a little bit, and the defender could not stop his momentum. You've heard me say this year. You know this about Jaden Bradley. I think he's the heart and soul of this Arizona team. Great defender, great playmaker, team leader, a good voice, and something that Tommy Lloyd has confidence in. Watch him now. He's going to come to a stop, head fake, draws the contact.
They've taken some friendly fire first.
Yeah, he did.
And Jaden Bradley, also a good foul shooter, 84%, hits both, and it matches Arizona's largest lead. The pull-up rattles out for Ryland Griffin, but kept alive by KJ Adams for the Jayhawks.
I think Hunter overpassed it that time.
Jaden Bradley in transition. And a foul. Arizona going over the back, makes contact. And bonus back at the other end, a 1-and-1 for Kansas.
Well, they'll shoot free throws here, Roxy, but one thing I think you've got to do, let's take a look right here over the back. It's a good call. KJ Lewis over the back, is I do think you have to establish Hunter Dickinson inside. The 3 balls going, but eventually he has to do his damage inside and get that front line in foul trouble.
Second on KJ Lewis. And Zeke Mayo, 83% foul shooter, a 1-and-1 for the Jayhawks. Just over 8.5 minutes remaining in this opening half, and a 12-point lead for Arizona. One more for Mayo.
Zeke was big time last night. 24 points, knocking down the 3 ball. You know, it's not easy to play at Kansas to begin with because of the pressure, but also a hometown kid who literally went to high school a mile from Allen Fieldhouse. You know, when he struggled a couple weeks ago, the fan base, the social media fan base, let him have it. And it seems like he's coming out of the funk.
Frankly, some of the stuff I saw, Fran, was disgusting.
It was.
Revolting to see what was put out there. Shot clock inside 10. Anthony Del Orso. Caleb Love, the floater.
He has a way to manufacture shots from any place on the floor. The problem is they don't always go in, but getting your shot, Rox, is a skill too now.
And it's been a balanced effort for Arizona offensively. David Coit has space. Three.
I'll tell you what, Arizona took a chance when you double team Hunter Dickinson. His 7'2" ability to throw over the top of the pressure is very effective.
Aaron pass. Trey Townsend throws it away. Third turnover by the Wildcats. 296 in the country in three-point percentage.
Great point, Roxy. They get their points off transition.
And a three. Juwan Harris for the Jayhawks. We send it over to Chris.
Bill Self during that timeout urging his team not to hesitate on offense. He said, don't turn down a shot just because you think you're going to get a better shot later, because it may not come.
Stays with Arizona.
Well, this has been an issue for Juwan Harris in his whole career. He looks past first, and sometimes to his own detriment. Earlier in his career, he was really accurate. This year, he was hovering around 30%, and last night he missed a few. But I like his confidence right now. He's got to keep shooting that ball.
2 for 2 outside the arc tonight. Caleb Love along the baseline, and it falls off, and the rebound, Flory Badunga for the Jayhawks. Badunga doing work down low. They missed the hook, and the rebound, Arizona. Here comes Jaden Bradley. Underneath to the 7-footer, Henry Vesar.
Pretty job right there by the sophomore. He took his time, came down, played off 2 feet, and used that length with that little jump hook.
He has been improving by the minute I see him on the court this year.
I love his game. He reminds me of Jacob Pirtle, the former Utah Ute who's been in the NBA about 7 years now.
Deep three. Too strong from David Coit, and a foul on Arizona going for the rebound.
And let's watch this now. This is going to be a screen, roll, and catch the lob. And watch now, most big guys are going to travel here. Pump fake, gets a little contact, and he's got that soft jump hook right at the rim. But he just fouls KJ Adams on the offensive rebound attempt by Adams.
8th Arizona foul, a 1-and-1 for KJ Adams. 74% foul shooter. Had a really good game last night against UCF. And he was critical, especially defensively, for Kansas last night.
Well, I'll tell you, Roxy, there's been some talk from the fan base, some of the fan base, about KJ Adams not being as good as we think he is and Bill Self thinks he is. He is a super glue guy. And you see what he's doing right here? He's missing that one. But he's gone from 55% to 74 from the foul line this year. Here's my example with KJ Adams. If you took Draymond Green and put him on the Charlotte Hornets and asked him to average 20 points a game, that would not be his role. He is a glue guy, tough guy, defender. KJ Adams has played with 6 NBA players in his career. In my mind right now, there are not any NBA players, at least, you know, future stars or solid players. He's better on a team with great players.
Rattles out from Anthony Delorso, and a foul in Arizona going for the rebound, and that's the second on Carter Bryant.
And just to clarify, yeah, Flory Badunga, maybe somebody else makes a roster, but we're talking about guys like Christian Brown, Grady Dick, Jalen Wilson, Ochai Agbaji. When you have that kind of firepower out there, this guy becomes a key player, and he's had a great career at Kansas.
KJ Adams back to the foul line. One more for Adams. And a quick break, and Henry Vesar back in the game. And just like that, Bill Self sees the 7-footers going in for Arizona. He brings in his 7-footer.
A line change.
The chess match.
Exactly.
Between Tommy Lloyd and Bill Self.
Tommy Lloyd told me a few weeks ago the thing that impresses him about the Big 12 is how many coaches in the league target weak defenders. You know, like it's like the NBA. If we find a weak defender, we go at him.
The hustle for Kansas. On the backside. Zeke Mayo!
When you're 7'2", that hook pass to the weak side is impossible to stop.
And a push by Kansas to cut it to 3. Jaden Bradley, 3.
These guys think they're Steve Kerr tonight.
Tobe Awaka the rebound. Arizona running.
I love the way they push it.
The reverse falls off for Del Orso. And out of bounds, it belongs to Kansas as Tobe Awaka went tumbling into the first row.
Let's go back and watch some outstanding shooting. Watch this hook pass to the weak side. The double comes late. Mayo's open. He's been on fire lately. And on the other end, Jaden Bradley, not necessarily known as a three-point shooter, but Caleb Love put it in a perfect spot for him.
Deep 3. Zeke Mayo off on that one. And the rebound batted around and controlled by U of A. Caleb Love too strong on that 3, and KJ Adams pulls it down. And he gets taken out at midcourt, and the second on Tobe Awaka. Fouls mounting for Arizona because that puts Kansas into the double bonus.
KJ Adams, you can see, just look at his face, and he is putting everything he can into this first half. Young man from Austin, Texas. He lost mom about 15 months ago to cancer, and senior day was bittersweet, Rocks. Dad was there. Kevin, he's in the stands tonight. This kid has been a tremendous competitor for Bill Self. By the way, mom was a better player than dad. Yvonne was a terrific player at Texas A&M.
Missing the first, one more for Adams. Making his 97th career start tonight. And he has been a warrior for Bill Self throughout his career.
That's a great description. Culture warrior.
Henry Vasar. And the rebound, Hunter Dickinson for Kansas, his 6th rebound.
I think you got to put pressure on the rim by driving it, because this Arizona team is in a double bonus. Unless it's an open 3, get to the rim.
The floater, and Juwan Harris having an impact with his scoring tonight. Knocked away, Hunter Dickinson steals it. Lobbing it back, and Dickerson missed on the slam on the alley-oop.
Dickinson lost the ball, and like in hockey, he just flipped it into the neutral zone. Luckily, Kansas came up with it, but he couldn't finish the lob.
Trey Townsend missing a 3. And here comes Kansas, although it's deflected. Out of bounds, last touch by the semis.
And he's done a terrific job in Highland Park.
Offensive foul, illegal screen, Hunter Dickinson. First foul on Dickinson tonight.
Michael Greenstein did not want to hear it. Take a look right here. We've seen this tonight. That's a moving screen. He throws the left hip out. Easy call. Michael Greenstein's made that call about 10,000 times.
Trey Townsend, and a foul on KJ Adams, who's in disbelief.
Trey Townsend is not a great three-point shooter, but when he gets closed out, he takes it right into the basket, and that looks like all ball. Well, from that angle, was there contact below, but up top, that is ball. I think there's a little contact on the backside of that, honestly. So I think he got it right. Up top, clean. Momentum of the defender, KJ Adams, through the body.
One more for Townsend, 80% for the grad transfer from Oakland, who was phenomenal last year for the Grizzlies in the postseason. He was the Horizon League Player of the Year, and he led Oakland to that upset of Kentucky in the first round.
17 points, 12 rebounds. He's also one of the rare father-son combinations to play for the same college coach, Greg Campy, at Oakland U.
KJ Adams, and a foul will get him to the line. It's on Arizona. They may have gotten Townsend, and they did.
I'll tell you what I love about that. KJ Adams felt he was wronged on one end, so he was going to make sure there was contact on the other end. And the same official, Final Four official Doug Sermons, said, okay, all right, you took it right to the defender. I'm going to give you 2 free throws. I love that. I love the fact that he said, okay, I'm going to make the officials call it, but you got to be aggressive, and he was.
KJ Adams now rolls that one in. Already 4 for 7 from the line tonight.
You should have seen this young man with a lacrosse stick in his hand. It was scary.
I would not like to see him running at me with a stick in the midfield area.
In Austin, Texas. That was really his
trying
favorite.
To chase me down if I have the ball.
Exactly.
Oh.
6'7". If there was big money in professional lacrosse, he'd play lacrosse.
Kansas has trimmed it to 3 again. KJ Lewis weaves his way inside. And a block. Hunter Dickinson denies him.
Remember, every foul is 2 free throws for Kansas. So don't settle for the contested 3 if you can get it into the paint.
Zeke Mayo missing from deep, but the offensive rebound, Dickinson. Already 8 rebounds for Dickinson. And that wouldn't go, and here comes Arizona and Caleb Love.
Good job by Jaden Bradley right there. They were playing at a high tempo, and he slowed it down.
Henry Vasar lines up a 3.
How about this kid? Remember now, he was buried on the bench his freshman year, and only because of an injury has he gotten a chance to look like a potential star.
Hunter Dickinson missing the putback slam off the foot of KJ Adams. It belongs to Arizona.
Well, we've seen Vasar run to the rim, catch under control. This is going to be his calling card right here. A defensive center who can step out.
Here we go.
But don't you think there are much tougher venues in this league?
Yes.
And because of that, I think Arizona, now I'm impressed with 14-6. Look at this drive.
Caleb Love gets inside.
That's great coaching right there. That is great coaching. They created a driving lane downhill for Caleb Love. And when you stand next to Caleb Love, he's a lot bigger and thicker than he actually looks on TV. Kind of like you, Rox.
But in a different way.
In a different way.
KU just 1 for their last 9. Here is Dickinson.
Don't foul him.
And Hunter Dickinson left it short, and it's out of bounds. Kansas ball on the baseline right now. It says 3/10 of a second left in the half.
And this has to be a tip. Now, the reason I said don't foul him is you don't make him make a tough shot over you, Henry. You're 7 feet tall. And now this has got to be a lob at the rim. Remember, this is not reviewable in the first half. Oh boy, that is close. It looked like his foot was inside. It looked like the ball was inside the court. Can't review it, but this has to be a tip at the rim. Now, watch what Arizona's done all year. They take a 7-footer, Vasar, and they put him on the passer. And now he's backing up for the first time this year. Can't do that.
Can't do that.
Doesn't
Won't count. 3/10 or less.
That's right.
It has to be a tip. You have no time to catch and shoot.
I love what Vasar did. He's usually on the ball. He backed. To your point, Chris, Hunter Dickinson's got to continue to play inside a little bit more. I think that's his strength. Nice up and under right there.
Trey Townsend opens up the scoring in the second half, and the Cats go up double digits.
Trey's back into that starting lineup tonight, in part because he started against Kansas on Saturday and was outstanding, and that brings Vasar off the bench a little bit later.
But the surprising number for the first half, as you saw the game summary, the three-point shooting for Arizona, 7 for 11 from outside the arc, a team that shoots under 32% from 3 on the season. Kansas goes inside and one. Hunter Dickinson.
Well, when you play with Dickinson, whether it's Padunga or KJ Adams, you have a great target. Look at this little high-low right here. Dickinson gets Awaka off the lane, up the lane, I should say, and an easy target.
Third on Tobe Awaka. And Hunter Dickinson's first free throw tonight. And he gets the old school three-point play.
I'm a little surprised that Tommy Moy didn't get Awaka out, and all of a sudden Vasar is at the scorer's table, which is good, but you don't want Tobe picking up a fourth right now.
Deep shot, too strong from Anthony Del Orso, but Awaka, the offensive rebound for Arizona. The reverse along the baseline, and a pretty fine Jaden Bradley to Anthony Del Orso.
I've been watching Del Orso all season. One of the things he does so well is cut behind the defense. And Bradley found him. It's great basketball when you can put the pressure on the defense like that. There's the high-low again.
Hunter Dickinson now with 13.
KJ Adams is a really adept passer. And they combine quite often for plays like that.
Tobe Awaka fumbles it away. Racing up the floor. DeJuan Harris blows the layup, and Arizona with the rebound. Anthony Del Orso, offensive foul.
Well, let's go back. That's a good call. That's a charge. But watch this back cut. Del Orso is going to keep his eye on Bradley and the ball. And watch the defender turn his head. Mayo, terrific baseline cut by Del Orso. He's done that all season. And when you're a good shooter and you're a good cutter too, it makes you really hard to guard.
Foul, the second on Anthony Del Orso, as Ryland Griffin looking to attack.
Well, I like that strategy because we've complimented Del Orso about the shooting and the cutting, but he is a below-average defender at times, and that time Ryland Griffin, maybe by design, went right after him. Go at him again.
Hunter Dickinson in the lane.
Now they went right back at Del Orso, and he needed help from his big man, and that freed it for Dickinson to make that little 10-foot pop-a-shot basket.
And now this pro-Kansas crowd starting to get into it.
And watch this, where we talked about Del Orso he needs help right here. Watch him get caught up on the screen. And when that happens, Vasar must come over. And Hunter Dickinson will make that shot about 9 times out of 10.
Dickinson is all 7 for Kansas here in the second half, as the Jayhawks are within 5. Trey Townsend ran into his own man, but a foul on Kansas.
I think Vasar fouled him.
And Hunter Dickinson agrees with Fran.
What happened was Trey gets chased off the line, the three-point line, so he puts his head down. And let's see right here. Oh boy, I mean, I think that's a foul on Vasar, but you can't commit a foul on your teammate. So Trey Townsend's he's going to be the recipient of 2 free throws.
One more for Townsend.
Would that be like an own goal?
Yeah. Off your head, goes in. 1 for 2 Townsend. The rebound, Ryland Griffin for the Jayhawks. Almost 3 minutes into the second half. And a 6-point lead for Arizona. We got this matchup last Saturday in Lawrence, and Kansas a win on Senior Day. Arizona's been off since. Kansas had to win last night to get to this matchup and survive overtime against UCF.
I love watching Caleb Love in transition. Now they slow it down now.
Jaden Bradley on the pull-up. And Hunter Dickinson the rebound. Long outlet to Adams. Ryland Griffin. KJ Adams hustling to the offensive glass. The kick out. Zeke Mayo 3.
That is mostly KJ Adams. But Zeke Mayo knocks down a very smooth-looking jump shot. Great hustle on the backboards.
Henry Vasar short on the 3. And another rebound, the 11th for Dickinson.
Watch Mayo here.
Step back. Tie game. The putback, offensive rebound, and the score for Trey Townsend.
I'm not sure how Trey got open, but it ended up with KJ Adams on the perimeter, and that's who he was guarding.
Arizona reclaims the lead. Backdoor for Griffin. And out of bounds will stay down here in a Kansas ball.
Well, Zeke Mayo shoots great at home. That's usually Allen Fieldhouse, but this might be a home.
Past Baylor. BYU, a tournament record 18 threes to get the day started. And that high-scoring matchup with Iowa State. And the rebound batted around, and KJ Lewis out of the pack for the Wildcats.
Got to keep his head up.
Lewis attacks, and a goaltending call against Flory Badunga. Give the hoop to KJ Lewis.
And give the assist to Henry Vasar, because on that drive by Lewis, Vasar screened his man out where there was nobody able to come over to help. You see that a lot with Vasar. We call that a Gortat screen in honor of Marcin Gortat, who played a long time in the NBA. He gets in the way of the help because he looks like he's posting up, Rocks, but in effect he's screening.
AJ Storr gets open in the corner and misses on the 3. Flory Badunga, another offensive rebound. That's 12 offensive boards for Kansas. Zeke Mayo from deep. 3!
Well, that 2-week slump late in the year is over. Saturday, yesterday, and here today, he has been on fire.
And Caleb Love is hobbling off the floor. And Justin Kokoski, athletic trainer for Arizona, attending to Love, who gingerly headed to the Arizona bench. While the Wildcats cling to a 1-point lead, some concern with the first team all Big 12 performer. Carter Bryant rims out a 3. Last touch by Kansas will stay down here. Here's what happened to Caleb Love rather in the last sequence.
Well, he's gone off to the locker room for now. Can't really tell, Rocks.
It was something trying to get around the screen. Then all of a sudden he pulled up a little bit. Anthony Del Orso. Carter Bryant tries it again from deep. And there's Kansas with a rebound, and here comes DeJuan Harris. A.J. Storr down the lane, had it knocked away, and picked up by Anthony Del Orso for Arizona. But on the sideline, Arizona gives it right back, and Caleb Love emerging, coming back to the Arizona bench.
We didn't see much when he hobbled off, but that's a good sign for Arizona.
Let's send it over to Chris.
Love did not receive any treatment from the training staff. He ran back out there to stretch out his right calf, and then after that ran back out.
Well, Arizona clearly needs Caleb Love.
There's no question, and that's good reporting, Chris. I didn't see him stepping on anybody's ankle. Oh, good hands.
Jaden Bradley forcing the turnover. Carter Bryant, tough fall away, falling down, and Kansas the rebound. For the lead. First lead for Kansas since it was 3-2. KJ Lewis ties the game for Arizona.
Tommy Lloyd is going under the screen with those defenders on DeJuan Harris, and that time with the two he made in the first half, feeling it a little bit, he let it fly.
Harris has made all 3 of his three-point attempts tonight. Step back from Zeke Mayo. And it continues for Mayo.
In 2022, Remy Martin came out of nowhere for Kansas in this tournament, the Arizona State transfer. Maybe we're seeing signs of that from Zeke Mayo.
KJ Lewis down the lane, draws a foul. But Arizona's got a problem to contend with.
They
confirmed.
All right. Just getting back, Rodney Terry's team is peaking at the right time. By the way, you ready for this, Roxy? Last 2.5 games, right? So now we're 2 games in 30 minutes. Zeke Mayo, 15 of 23 behind the arc.
He is heating up.
What do you think,
into
Bill?
March.
What would Bill have said?
Please.
Please.
It's beautiful. It's majesty watching Zeke Mayo shoot the ball. Jay Lewis hits both.
Oh boy.
And that one off the fingertips of Zeke Mayo, then hits the official Tommy Johnson.
Yeah, no.
And he was standing out of bounds, therefore it's out of bounds to Arizona.
Look at that Bill Self look. That's called he's pensive. He's pensive.
We've seen that a lot more this season, haven't we?
Yep. Well, it's not been a vintage Kansas year, but the crazy thing about it is they can win this tournament.
Caleb Love back in the game, nails a 3 as Arizona seesaws in front.
I know this about Caleb Love, Roxy. There's no shot that he's not willing to take at any time of the game, including the final stretches. You don't want him heating up right now if you're Kansas.
Our 4th lead change of this one. KJ Adams, 3 on the shot clock, blocked by Carter Bryant, pulled down by Arizona. And Flory Badunga wins the battle for the rebound. And KJ Lewis called for a foul. Third
now,
on
this is
Lewis.
scouting report defense, Roxy. This is not Storr's fault. They're going under on Love on the screen. See right here, freeze it, guys. Right here, there's a lot of room. He should go under it and cut him off, but he gets caught on the screen. And Bill Self's not happy about that. If you go under the screen, you'll be able to get to Love. When you try to manufacture some contact with the screener, you're going to get caught on it.
Flory Badunga. And the jump hook by Badunga, and we're tied.
That's a young man that made 32 straight field goals in high school. Kokomo High School in Kokomo, Indiana.
I want to know how many of those were outside 2 feet.
I think none. I'd say 25 of them were dunks. And the other 7 were short jump hooks like that one. And that's okay.
Jaden Bradley gets inside. The drop off. KJ Lewis misses the layup and the tip in. And Kansas comes away with it.
We better get back on defense, because right now he's making up for it. Look at that.
Dives for the loose ball. And a timeout called by Lewis.
KJ missed the layup, and it looks like he was jogging back. He was probably trying to catch his wits. He knocked it loose and then got on the floor. Take a look. Hustle. Everybody's on the floor.
No timeout. They actually called a foul on Zeke Mayo for diving on top of KJ Lewis. And for Mayo, his first. Caleb Love. Loose ball. Flory Badunga tracks it down for Kansas. Rylan Griffin, and Kansas reclaims the lead. First points of the night for Griffin.
Good rhythm jump shot by Rylan. Came off on that dribble handoff. Had plenty of space.
Arizona answers. Trey Townsend on the alley-oop.
How about the big-to-big pass right there? Good job by Townsend to make himself available for that lob.
David Coit launching. Too strong on the 3. Carter Bryant the rebound for the Wildcats. Trey Townsend moves in.
Oh, that should be goaltending.
And they have called goaltending.
Yep.
They will review it because goaltending was called on the floor.
Yep. As we go to break, watch the big-to-big passing right now. It's a ball screen, slip out, 2-on-1, right on the money. Watch Vasar again. Slip out, throw it up there. He'll catch it. So, you know what I always say about... Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. The NBA is like Spanish. College basketball is like Portuguese. They sound the same, but they're 2 different languages. And he's gotten used to speaking Portuguese. He's made a great adjustment to the college game.
The N1 free throw by Townsend, and Arizona leads it by 3.
Wow.
Last touch by the Wildcats will stay down here in a Kansas ball.
They were trying to seal Dickinson. The ball was way over his head, and Jaden Bradley went for it thinking he was going to steal it. And he just should have let it go out of bounds, but he wasn't aware that it was going to be too far. We're checking the clock, maybe.
Doug Sermons, along with Tommy Johnson and Michael Greenstein, our officiating crew. And they are going to review the clock, it appears. 66-63, Arizona with the lead.
Last play is under review.
And the winner will get Texas Tech in the late semifinal tomorrow night.
Yeah, JT Toppin was outstanding. He has been the best player in this league the last 5 weeks of the season. All right, we've been told they're going to check an elbow to the head. Let's watch.
Right there.
Yeah, that's a tough angle, but I will tell you this: if we get another angle, guys, any kind of contact above the shoulders, even if it's inadvertent, see, I think that's going to be a flagrant one. I believe that should be a flagrant one. Any kind of contact above the shoulders, the officials will usually err on the side of a foul. And so that's what they're reviewing right there. And I'll tell you this, honestly, it doesn't help Hunter Dickinson. They're going to say no. Okay. Nothing. Okay. I'm okay with that. But they're fortunate, Kansas and Hunter Dickinson, because he has at times been notorious.
Was under review for potential flagrant foul.
For that.
After review, there was no flagrant foul. Ball out of bounds to Kansas on the end line.
I'm okay with that. I trust Doug Sermons right there.
Stays at Kansas ball, 17 on the shot clock, with the Wildcats clinging to a 3-point lead. Hunter Dickinson attacks the baseline.
That is great two-man basketball. They've done that all year. Little handoff to Harris. Once Dickinson's man helps just a little, Dickinson slips along the baseline. That's what we call two-man game.
Caleb Love left it short. Henry Basar on the offensive glass. And Basar gets it up and in.
What did I tell you about his toughness, Roxy? This kid might be thin in terms of frame, but he is not afraid to go right at the defender.
KJ Adams. And powers his way through the bucket as Jake Bradley trying to draw the offensive foul. First field goal tonight for Adams. The drop off and the finish, Henry Basar.
I'm a fan of Caleb Love with the ball in his hands. He'll take some bad shots, but he'll make some shots, and he's got a good feel for finding the open man. He's so strong, it's hard to keep him out of the paint off the dribble.
Dickinson down low using the window. Trading body blows, going back and forth.
Yep.
Timeout, Arizona. One.
And that's where it feels like he's gotten better as DeJuan takes it.
Zeke Mayo had a clean look, maybe the best look he'll get all night from out there. 1 point lead for Arizona. And since Kansas made a run early in the second half, this has been a one-possession game for about the last 9 minutes. Henry Basar and one.
This is fun. What do you got, Chris? He's playing well, isn't he?
He is. It's his ability to finish with contact at the rim that he thinks has been his biggest improvement throughout this season. And you might think his frame is thin. He's gained 20 pounds of muscle since he first got to campus.
The native of Estonia, Henry Vesar, 16 off the bench. Now given 17.
He left home from Estonia to Real Madrid at 15. He spent 3 years in that club system. Very fundamentally sound. In the 3 years at Arizona, you see a lot of growth.
Juwan Harris penetrates. Finds Hunter Dickinson. And Arizona grabs the rebound. Carter Bryant draws the foul, the second on Rylan Griffin.
Come back tomorrow for the semifinal round. 166 Big 12 championship. First game will be BYU against Houston, and Texas Tech against the winner of this game. For our first game will be at 6 o'clock.
Coming up next, Sports Center with Michael Eaves and Nicole Briscoe. The latest on the injury of Cooper Flagg for Duke. Joe Lunardi's bubble watch. And Steph Curry on the brink of, yes, another milestone. 4,000 career threes.
You know what's insane? Even though Steph has had an incredible career, he's only halfway to scoring as many points as LeBron James. He just hit 25,000, Rox. LeBron's got 50,000 points. Now, I'm still taking Michael, but LeBron is right behind him.
1 for 2, Carter Bryant. KJ Adams the rebound. And a clock issue, and Michael Greenstein halts play. 5-point lead for the Wildcats. Arizona led by 17 from Henry Vesar. And 14 for Trey Townsend tonight. Kansas, Hunter Dickinson leads all scorers with 19, and Zeke Mayo has 18, including 5 threes. And Mayo can't handle the pass, saves it. Here comes Arizona, racing down court, KJ Lewis.
Oh, strong, to the body to body bag. Wow.
6-0 run for the Wildcats. Kansas desperately needs an answer. And on the sideline, Zeke Mayo with a turnover.
Boy, great defense, great hustle. Watch the save right here, and then just watch KJ Lewis go body to body on the defender like he's invisible. Great finish.
Henry Vesar has it punched away. Racing up the floor, Juwan Harris. Denied by Carter Bryant.
We've talked about Vesar, but the growth of Bryant since mid-December is also palpable. Watch the freshman say, "Get it out of here."
Step back with space. And a much-needed three, Juwan Harris. Timeout, Jayhawks. And Harris with 16 points. He's been in double figures in only one of the last 7 games for Kansas.
And I think the strategy tonight by Arizona was to go under screens, and Juwan has made them pay. Take a look. Watch the defender. He's going under the screen, and all Juwan does is say, "All right, give me some room, Hunter, and I got room to knock this down." KJ's a great defender, but the strategy is to go under But Dickinson walks into KJ, who can't get back out.
3:21 remaining in a 4-point game. And again, friend, these two teams played Saturday in Lawrence. The adjustments these teams have made, what have you noticed that's been different tonight?
You know what? I think pretty much the same thing. Remember we said you can't double Hunter Dickinson in the post. He's too good a passer. You're going to continue to go under DeJuan Harris because all season long he's not shown you he can make the three. Now, out of that timeout, we may now see KJ Lewis crawl up into him and not give him any breathing room.
Kansas made 12 threes in their overtime win last night against UCF. They've made 13 threes here tonight. Love goes inside to Trey Townsend.
Great set play. They went like in a circle, and Townsend went all the way around the court and got a back screen at the rim.
Foul on Henry Vasar, his second.
Let's watch this set play out of a timeout. Let's see where that's Townsend right here. And watch what's going to happen. He's going to screen and then get a screen, and KJ Adams gets lost. An excellent execution out of a timeout.
Arizona's made their last 5 shots from the floor, and it seems a point of emphasis for Tommy Lloyd, Fran, has been attack the paint.
Yeah, no question about it. And he's got guards that can do it. He's got a couple of wide bodies that can do it.
Zeke Mayo has space, and he misses the three, and Arizona the rebound, and Jaden Bradley.
Very fortunate because both defenders went with the big fella. And you said it earlier, that's about as easy a shot as Zeke will have tonight.
Problem is he's been too open on those last 2 shots.
Maybe. Tommy Lloyd orchestrating the same set.
Henry Vasar down low. Bodied by Dickinson. And they're calling Hunter Dickinson for the foul. Number 3 on Dickinson.
Really good footwork by Vasar. He steps through. It's a legal play as long as that pivot foot hits the ground late. Watch. Fake. Up. Under. And there's a foul. See the left arm goes flying back.
2 shots for Henry Vasar.
He reminds me a little bit. I'm going to go old school on you.
Okay.
Eric Chenoweth.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Former Kansas big fella.
That was back in my day.
That was back in my day, too, Rox.
And Vasar nails both.
Cherokee Parks, Eric Chenoweth, all those big skinny guys from SoCal. Good screen.
Zeke Mayo short, and Bradley the rebound for the Cats.
Now Zeke has cooled off after just a tremendous first 30 minutes.
Hunter Dickinson blocks the shot, but it's cleaned up by KJ Lewis.
Those guards are as tough as nails.
And you look up, it's a 10-point game now in favor of the Wildcats. Hunter Dickinson launching. Missed everything, and KJ Lewis pulls it down.
Probably got a foul soon.
And they foul Lewis. Kansas fought so hard to come back. They took a brief lead. But down the stretch, Arizona's taken this game over.
I would say the word that comes to mind with the Wildcats tonight is resilient. You come into the Big 12 tournament, you're playing Kansas 40 minutes from their campus. It's obviously a great Kansas crowd, and they have been resilient, Roxy. They've taken some body blows, but they have a toughness that I've seen since the middle of December. The guards are tough. Awaka gives them some toughness inside. And, you know, even Carter Bryant's growing up before our eyes.
1-1 for KJ Lewis. Left it short. Flory Badunga the rebound.
Got to play quick, and if the three is there, you must shoot it.
David Coit does, and hits.
Yep. Got to be up and press now, and you're going to have to foul somebody.
Timeout, Arizona. He didn't play much. It was an upper body injury or a strain that Texas Tech held him out. So that's a concern going into tomorrow night.
They have enough depth to overcome chance for 2 games. Remember, that freshman Christian Anderson has been just absolutely brilliant.
Arizona needs to try to finish this one off. And you also wonder for Texas Tech about Darian Williams coming back after playing as much as he did tonight. And a foul with 48.2. Darian Williams played 33 minutes tonight, and he's less than 100%.
Yes.
4th foul on Flory Badunga. And that will send KJ Lewis back to the line. One more coming for Lewis.
Well, let's give KJ Lewis a lot of credit. When we saw this team in December, Tommy Lloyd told us it was that weekend when they played UCLA that KJ had come to him and said, Coach, we've got 3 really good guards. I think I'm better coming off the bench, and I can give us a spark, and it's worked out great. He still plays starters minutes, and he's one of the best defensive guards, I think, in college basketball.
17 tonight for KJ Lewis, along with 5 rebounds. And the Arizona lead is 9.
Got to be 3s here.
Arizona switching everything on the perimeter, and they call a foul on Lewis, his 4th.
Well, KJ did not want to give Zeke Mayo a 3-point shot, but he was a little over exuberant with the contact, and that had to be called. But
they still have
fouls to
the
give.
foul to give.
Yep.
The next one puts Kansas into the bonus.
Exactly.
Here's David Coit. He'll launch a 3. Carter Bryant the rebound for Arizona. And Bill Self trying to tell his guys to foul, and Adams finally gets the foul. You know, 29 seconds to go.
You know who's had a great game tonight for Arizona? Caleb Love. He's got 9 points. He's not forced a lot of shots.
6 assists.
6 assists. You know, I've become a fan of this kid. We didn't know him. We know the 30,000-foot, you know, reputation. Tough shot taker. But I'll take a competitor like this guy any day of the week. And you could say the same about Bradley and Lewis.
And tonight is a big deal playing in this tournament. He has a lot of family in this area. Even though he grew up in St. Louis, his mom and her side of the family is from the Kansas City area. And Caleb Love has about 30 family and friends here at T-Mobile Center tonight.
Well, they're going to be proud of him because he's been, you know, underrated. Look at this defense. Look at this defense.
And KJ Lewis, the exclamation point on this one.
We are going to have a great rematch tomorrow night of 2 teams that just absolutely know how to compete in Texas Tech and Arizona.
Zeke Mayo to the bucket and lays it in.
Bill Self says no more fouls.
And that first game's going to be fun, too.
No question.
Contrasting styles between BYU and Houston. Arizona will run out the clock, and the Arizona Wildcats, in their Big 12 tournament debut, knock off Kansas 88-77.